Hello everyone, how are you doing today? In case this is the first time you're joining us, my name is Marina from Soul in the Raw, and I'm a raw food expert. And this is part of the Raw Vegan Refresh. And this refresh is a 10-day refresh where you learn raw food recipes, you get meal plans to your inbox every single day, and there's a community on Facebook called Raw Souls where you can join and you get supported through this refresh, you get your questions answered. Aside from that, I'm also doing a giveaway on Instagram where if you post a photo every single day for these 10 days of the food that you're making and a nice little caption, I'm going to pick 5 of the top accounts and I'm going to give away one of my ebooks. So all of that is going to be linked below and you'll see all the details there. So as I mentioned, today is day 9 and today we are almost done with this refresh. So I hope that you're really proud of yourself. And I also hope that you're keeping up with journaling and with your intention from day 1. And that's really going to help you through this. I've already seen some of the members in Raw Souls talk about the refresh and maybe being nervous about it, and I totally get that. It can be for some of you a whole new lifestyle, but if you are journaling every day, it's going to help you deal with some of the fears and the feelings surrounding that. And please just remember, the way you think about this in the back of your head, in your subconscious mind, is really going to determine how successful you are. So just catch some of your thoughts, catch what you are writing, and just go back to your intention. What were you intending? Why? What is driving being part of this refresh? Why are you here? Just go back to that and remind yourself of that all the time. I promise you it's going to help you so much. Now, we're going to talk about probably some of your favorite topics, and that's raw desserts. If you've been raw for a while or just looked up some recipes, I'm sure you would have seen all these really elaborate, incredible desserts. And it's true that raw vegan desserts are super delicious, and a lot of people I've known and coached got into raw food through desserts. So pretty much everyone likes raw desserts. But the only issue is that they're really high in fat and nuts and seeds and things like that. And I'm sure you also noticed up until now that we're eating a ton of fruit. And that is my personal secret to not craving desserts. I used to be a huge sweet person, and now I've turned into like the salty person because I don't crave desserts at all, and I'm really satisfied by all the fruit. But I do want to give you this option, and you're going to be experimenting with it today on the refresh, of making desserts that are actually healthy. So even if something is raw, labeled raw, right, unheated, unpasteurized, it doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. Please remember this. So I've laid out all these ingredients, and I just want to explain how do you go about making a dessert. Now don't worry, because under the video I'm going to link to a sample of a dessert, and all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to explain to you the different options. So the measurements are going to stay the same. What's going to change are the ingredients. So for the crust, I have a sticky component, so it's dried fruit like dates or raisins, okay, pretty much always, and you'll see that in the recipe, and a dry component. So I have oats, which are actually not technically raw, but I use them and I think they're very healthy. And then there's nuts and different nuts. So there's walnuts, there's almonds, and there's pecans, which are really good. Another thing that I don't happen to have, but I love to use, is mulberries. So I use that in place of the nuts and the oats. So remember this formula. It is the dried fruit and then one more dry component, so non-sticky component. You combine the two, you could put some spices that you like or flavors like vanilla or cinnamon or nutmeg, things like that, and you put that into your food processor and you process it for a while until it all sticks. One of the best ways to know is that you get this giant ball in your food processor, and that way you know for sure that it's all sticking. Otherwise, if you see the mixture pretty much processed, you can open your food processor and take the mixture between your fingers and make sure that it's sticky. If it is, you're going to take one of these, this one or this one. So this is a little Pyrex pie pan that we like to use. And this one we just got recently, you don't have to get it, but it's a spring-form pan. And all you're going to do is take your mixture and press it down to the bottom. You're going to press it down to the bottom, put it in the freezer, and then we move on to step number 2. And step number 2 is to make your filling. Now you will see that a lot of people are using cashews and coconut to make a very creamy filling, and I don't recommend that because it's going to be really, really high fat. What I do instead is I use bananas. So go back to the day that we talked about fruit and look at how we made the ice cream. It's pretty much the same thing. But so we take these bananas, you see how ripe they are, and you freeze them until they're frozen. And then you put them in the blender, or you can also again use a food processor. And you can add any other fruit that you like, frozen fruit like peaches, nectarines, pineapple, cherries, go crazy. Whatever you have frozen you can use, and a tiny, tiny bit of water just to get it to blend. And you blend it up, and then you take it out, take out your crust and just put it on top, flatten it, put it back in the freezer until it's completely hard, and you're done. Another thing you can do is you can add a little bit of nuts, like a small handful, to your crust. And it's really important, I know that I've given this to you as a tip somewhere along the way on the PDFs, to soak all of your nuts and your seeds, and you'll see I talk about it in the PDFs. So that's about it for really amazing raw desserts. That's the perfect formula. I hope that you're going to experiment. I hope that you're going to use really interesting fruit and ingredients. And you can be really creative with this. You can put mint, you can put basil even, whatever you want. And I want to see those photos both on Raw Souls, the Facebook group, and on Instagram. And if you're just joining right now, don't forget that I do send all of the previous days PDFs with the meal plans in every email. So you can totally still join. It's never too late. Thank you so much for being with me. We have one more day, so I hope you really take advantage of this day. And again, go back to your intention. I'm sending you all my love. Have a great day.